presentation that I have for you tonight is a little bit different than what you're probably used to seeing here. I am a teacher at Grand Traverse Academy, and I'm going to be speaking largely in acronyms tonight to try to get through this in under the 5 minutes. I also am not above bribery, and so I'll be asking you guys to participate a little bit. So you would probably know me as a science teacher if I told you what I did and from your past experience with education. But there's a paradigm shift happening in education these days, and we're on the precipice really of a very huge paradigm shift, and it's largely driven by technology. And so is anybody familiar with STEM, or has anyone heard of STEM? Can somebody tell me what STEM is? Non-educators. I know there's some educators in the audience tonight, so. Wait, science? Okay, this is a smarty for you. So science, technology, engineering, and math. And so you can see that the change in science education is the technology and the engineering. And so really my role as a teacher, as a science teacher, is evolving into a STEM teacher that includes all of that. A lesser known cousin, STEAM. I have Smarties, if someone can tell me what STEAM stands for. It brings the arts into it. Catch? There you go. So so science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. Which helps bring that creative component into the sciences and technology and those kinds of things, so that innovation and that creativity that really is so necessary in education. So now I'm going to twist it around a little bit. I'm going to give you the subjects, the domains, and see if somebody can figure out what the acronym is. So you've got health, arts, math, science, technology, engineering, reading, foreign language, and other associated topics. No one? With all these like logic people, I thought somebody would be like taking those first. Okay, these are hamster floats. In any school, and no, we don't really call them that, but let's see. I'll just throw a few of these out. Nobody really got it, but there's some Smarties. Maybe eat these and you get it next time. Okay, so the thing about technology and education is that it's essential in 21st century learning. But most teacher technology training let's see if I can get this to work, looks something like this, okay? So this is a teacher going through her technology training or his technology training, and they're like, I got this is great, I can't wait to take this to my students, this is gonna be awesome. And then this is the classroom implementation. And usually how this goes, okay? And I'm sure every occupation has its moment. So yeah, so you hit those bumps, and this is the student now. The teacher is pretty much the one that you'll see flying around the outside. But we try to, you go through that's the teacher, and the student is just like, get out of the way, okay, I got this. But the point is that it changes so fast, and we go through these workshops, and you get this kind of superficial understanding of the technology that you're trying to bring into your classroom. But then when you bring it into the classroom, you hit that deep incompetence pit that displays itself for all of your students to see. And there is learning in the struggle, and it's not a bad thing, but a lot of times that struggle just gets to a point where you really don't know what to do and you don't know how to solve the problem. So back to the acronyms, PBLs, and what are PBLs and what does this have to do with you? PBL, there's actually two different kinds of PBL that I'm going to tell you about, and I actually just want to show you first. The first one, sorry, I'll back this up a little bit. First PBL is project-based learning, and I don't know if this wasn't something that was around when I was in school, but as a teacher, this is something that we're practicing more. These students are building what's known as a UROV, an underwater remotely operated vehicle. Sometimes it's called an UIVD, an underwater innovative vehicle design. And you see they're in a classroom, but they're not doing typical classwork. There's no books involved, there's tools involved. They're going through that iterative process of designing something, building it, creating it, testing it, and going back and fixing what didn't work and doing this over and over again, which is great. This is a different kind of learning. Kids love this. But there's this other essential part and this other PBL that's called place-based learning. And that looks like this. So you probably recognize a boat, the water. This is the bay. These are some of the same students working on the same project. Can I give you some Smarties to turn that off? You have all the ones you want. I'm almost done. So place-based, you can see they're on a boat. They're on the water. These guys actually took their ROVs out to a park on West Bay to look for a shipwreck that's just a few hundred feet offshore. This wouldn't have been possible. I'll just get to this real quick since we're running out of time. Without these three gentlemen in the back here. This is who I want to point out to you. Dr. Holloway and two of his students from NMC. He teaches nautical archaeology and anthropology classes at NMC. And he is one of our community partners, partnered with us for this particular project so that we could take these students out of the classroom, get them into their natural resources. We've got shipwrecks, we've got lakes, put these things they designed and built in the water, and they basically assisted us with searching for a shipwreck, okay? And I'm just gonna back up. These guys didn't even find the ship. I only had one team that actually found their ship. I had teams that put their ROVs in the water and they didn't work at all, okay? But that's part of the learning process. And so back to the very beginning, the most important part of what I'm trying to compel you to see is the role that you play in learning and in education. And with this paradigm shift in education, we really can't do it without you. And what I'm asking is for people to volunteer their time, and it manifests itself in many different ways. I have students that are working with a lot of the toys that you presented initially, and you know, I can play with them too, but I'm limited in my capacity to problem solve and troubleshoot with those things. And I'm inviting you into my classroom, into our classrooms, to spend an hour a month, an hour a week, whatever you have time for, and donate your expertise. And help these students kind of realize their potential. So, invitation for you to explore. I mean, this is really the new education. This is where learning is going. Explore, create, and learn. Books are going away. It's not book learning. There's no textbooks anymore. It's just trial and error. Try it, and yeah, that's it. So, thanks. Just a quick announcement.
I gotta get a Smart.
Okay, yeah, here, I'll give you a couple. I'll give you, yeah. So, quick announcement, we do have a showcase next Tuesday night where our kindergarten through high school, 12th grade, is showcasing their STEM projects. And it's, if you're just kind of curious and you want to see what these projects are, I have a classroom where I have 8 groups of kids doing 8 different projects. Some of them involve working with microcomputers, some of them are building ROVs. I've got kids trying to build a 3D printer. We've got 3D printers that are built, but they don't know how to use them yet. Yeah?
So where are you getting some of these projects from?
I would say a lot of it is driven by some of the workshops that are available for teachers. The ROV workshop, I would say Keith started that 8 years ago, 10 years ago now. Keith Fortin, who teaches at Traverse City Central, and has really driven that technology in this area and really kind of gotten that out into schools. I look for them. Sometimes it's what the kids want to do, what they're interested in. I do have 2 students that are here tonight who we sat down with some community people at the beginning of the year and said, what do you guys want to do? They're seniors at this point in their career and moving on to college. They don't need to read textbooks anymore. They need to use them as resources. And so we actually gathered some community members, sat down with those kids, and they chose a project. And they're here tonight to talk a little bit about that with people. So it's student-driven. I look for things, and there's workshops out there. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
You did the Alpina, did the underwater?
We do. I actually had, there was a picture in there of a team of kids that compete. I usually take at least one team every year, and the kids love it. But there's a difference that there's this competition that's put on by MATE, which is the Marine Advanced Technology Education organization, and they sponsor a competition every year in Alpena. Kids from all over the region, including Canada, participate in that. The top 2 go to international competition. So it's a form of robotics, basically, but it's underwater robotics. It's a great competition. What this place-based learning does is it makes it all real. So at the competition, the kids get like a task or a challenge, and there's this fake underwater PVC world that they drive their rovers around and try to solve these problems. What this place-based learning does is it makes the activity a real activity, and it brings real people from the community into the classroom to help facilitate that. And it doesn't happen without that community partnership. And there's other people here tonight that Drea has worked at partnering people. Part of the problem is brokering that partnership and that relationship. Where do you go? That's why I'm here. I'm pleading with people to come into the classroom to help with these projects. But Conservation District has been an organization that helps broker those partnerships. The college has helped out a little bit with that too. Yeah.
Opportunities do you have to network with other STEM educators like yourself?
I would say there are some. I mean, professional development doesn't focus on that. The professional development we have to go through, we have to seek that out. And so I will only network with those teachers if I'm looking for it. I wouldn't say that the opportunities are always out there. The Grand Traverse Conservation District is one organization that does put those opportunities out there. Oftentimes, a lot of the same teachers kind of participate in that. So there's really no really good, easy way to broker those partnerships. And that's one of the pieces that's kind of missing in this whole paradigm shift and moving education forward. We're just, trying to keep up with all the technological changes. And education has to. It's a necessity. It's not, do we or don't we? It's like we have to do this. What's the way forward, So, any other questions? Okay, thanks.